Hey guys, the 24th episode of The Curse of Oak Island, Season 12, titled Into the Void, was a tour de force of compelling discoveries, high-stakes excavation, and tantalizing links to centuries-old mysteries. As the season races toward its conclusion, the Oak Island team finds itself descending deeper, both literally and metaphorically, into one of history's most enduring enigmas. From the dramatic push into the solution channel in the Money Pit to mysterious artifacts potentially dating back to the 1500s, this episode was a showcase of why this series continues to captivate audiences. The highlight of the episode, and arguably of the season so far, was the progress made in the Kang-Tut-1 shaft, located just 10 ft south of the previously excavated TB-1 shaft. Tut-1 was conceived as a final effort before winter sets in, targeting a specific area where the team believes the mysterious chapel vault may have collapsed into the solution channel, a natural void in the bedrock over 200 ft deep. After months of digging and overcoming setbacks, the team is now tantalizingly close to breaching this channel at depths reaching beyond 160 ft. They have begun unearthing compelling evidence that points toward original depositor activity. Most notably, wood structures and fragments retrieved from Tut-1 appear to be far older than the 20th century chapel shaft. In particular, the discovery of a wooden dowel shaped using pre-industrial techniques is highly suggestive of 17th century or earlier construction. When Lagina examined it, he immediately noted its rough-hewn quality, clearly inconsistent with modern searcher work. This wooden dowel may be part of the original Money Pit, a bold possibility that inches the team closer to a goal they've pursued for over a decade. Perhaps the most explosive moment of the episode came when metal detection expert Gary Drayton and Lagina unearthed what appeared to be a broken primitive pickaxe at over 160 ft below ground, well beyond any previously documented searcher shaft. The significance of this find was solidified when blacksmithing expert Carmen Leah assessed the artifact. His analysis: the tool likely dates back to the 1500s to early 1600s, decades, if not centuries, before the Money Pit was first discovered in 1795. He emphasized that such tools were commonly used in primitive mining operations for breaking rocks and tunneling. Carmen and other experts noted the composition of the iron, its grain structure, and the evident signs of repeated impact. All pointed to a hand-wrought construction consistent with tools from the Renaissance period. If authentic and undisturbed since its deposition, this tool could be irrefutable proof that someone was tunneling deep beneath Oak Island centuries before the modern search began. This raises the tantalizing possibility that the shaft is not merely a searcher excavation, but rather part of an original depositor construction, possibly tied to an ancient effort to hide or retrieve a treasure of immense value. The link to the Knights of Malta, already established earlier in the season through symbolic connections and a research trip to Malta, gained even more credibility this episode. The team had previously found a button on Lot 5 with an emblem eerily similar to a symbol carved into the wall of a centuries-old prison in Malta. Now the discovery of 17th-century wood structures, primitive tools, and survey stakes throughout the swamp, each confirmed through radiocarbon and dendrochronological dating, places human activity on Oak Island right in the time frame when the Knights of Malta were active. A critical discussion took place in the Oak Island Museum, where surveyor Steve Guptill and geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner compiled and presented their data. Among their findings, the cobblestone path in the swamp dates to between 1650 and 1700. The Eye of the Swamp, a circular anomaly, dates from 1630 to 1680. The Northern Swamp Vault, where survey stakes and a mysterious brick and slate box were found, also aligns with the late 1600s. These timelines overlap almost perfectly with known periods of Knights of Malta maritime activity. The idea that the Templars, or their spiritual successors, the Knights of Malta, may have buried something sacred or valuable on the island is now more than mere speculation. The evidence is becoming scientific, material, and archaeological. While excitement soared in the Money Pit area, the northern swamp brought a moment of subdued disappointment. The team had hoped to uncover a wall that Fred Nolan, a legendary Oak Island treasure hunter, claimed to have discovered decades earlier. Ground-penetrating radar had indicated an anomaly at the expected depth, and hopes were high. However, after a cautious excavation, the team was unable to confirm the existence of the wall. Despite their best efforts, the feature remained elusive. Yet, this was not a total loss. As Rick Lagina eloquently stated, "We've only explored 30% of the swamp. In that 30%, the team has found survey stakes, cobblestone roads, and possible vaults, evidence of extensive intelligent work. If 70% remains untouched, the potential for new discoveries is vast. The swamp still holds many secrets." Time is the enemy in every Oak Island season, and this episode underscored that reality. With winter closing in, the team knows that Toot 1 may be their final shaft of the year. As they near the solution channel, the pressure mounts. This adds a compelling emotional layer to the episode. Every bucket of spoil, every ancient nail or broken tool retrieved from the depths feels like part of a race against nature itself. The viewers can feel the stakes. This may be their best shot at the treasure, or at least at undeniable proof of ancient activity. The episode ends on a powerful note. The team is optimistic. They've passed through the remains of the 1931 chapel shaft, found a primitive 16th century tool, and unearthed evidence of non-searcher wood construction. All signs point to one possibility. They may be entering the original vault area long believed to hold the treasure. Into the void, they say. But this is no aimless descent. It is the culmination of years of scientific work, collaboration, and relentless belief that something extraordinary happened on Oak Island. And now, at 171 FT, they are on the cusp of something unprecedented. Tomorrow, they say, could be the day. The discovery of the pickaxe fragment dating back to the 1500s or early 1600s marks one of the most significant moments in Season 12, Episode 24 of The Curse of Oak Island. For years, skeptics have dismissed the idea that pre-1795 activity occurred in the money pit. Yet this ancient tool, identified by blacksmithing expert Carmen Lea as a primitive mining instrument likely used in hard rock excavation, adds a compelling layer of credibility to theories suggesting that European or Mediterranean groups, perhaps even the Knights of Malta, were active on the island centuries before the officially recorded discovery. The tool's presence at a depth of over 160 FT, well beneath any known modern searcher shafts, suggests it may have been used during original tunneling efforts potentially linked to the construction of the fabled chapel vault, or even the money pit itself. Further fueling this theory is the scientific evidence emerging from the swamp investigations. Dr. Ian Spooner and surveyor Steve Guptill's data clearly ties various swamp structures like the cobblestone pathway, the so-called Eye of the Swamp, and even a vault-like feature to the 17th century. The repetition of dates from 1630 to 1700 across independent features strongly implies deliberate construction over an extended period. This supports the hypothesis that Oak Island served as a multi-phase project, possibly begun by the Knights Templar and later completed or expanded by the Knights of Malta. Such continuity would explain the use of sophisticated underground architecture and multiple defensive measures to protect whatever was buried. Even the failed attempt to uncover Fred Nolan's alleged stone wall in the northern swamp region holds narrative value. Though the team did not find the structure where expected, the presence of survey stakes, dated features, and man-made pathways in the same area keeps the possibility alive that Nolan's observations were valid, albeit possibly mislocated. Rick Laganina's steadfast belief in the swamp's significance remains unshaken, and rightly so. Less than 30% of the bog has been thoroughly examined. Considering how much has already been found in that limited area, the remainder could yet hold game-changing discoveries. Meanwhile, in the money pit, the team's descent into the Toot 1 shaft appears more promising by the hour. The shaft has now passed the depth of the old chapel shaft and is approaching the elusive solution channel where the original vault may have collapsed into in 1897. With new structural wood emerging, some of it pegged with wooden dowels instead of metal fasteners, the signs continue to suggest original depositor activity. The presence of large metal pieces, possibly from the original chapel shoe, confirms that the team has reached an area previously unexplored by modern searchers, increasing hopes that the treasure, or the definitive evidence of it, is close. The tool fragment and other newly recovered artifacts are especially compelling when seen in the context of the team's recent research trip to Malta. There, they encountered extensive underground systems built by the Knights of Malta, many of which resemble descriptions of Oak Island's subterranean features. The use of similar mining tools in those ancient European tunnel networks strengthens the idea that a technologically advanced and organized group once excavated Oak Island with the same methods. Whether these were the Templars, the Knights of Malta, or another esoteric group, the alignment of archaeological and artifact-based evidence continues to build a persuasive case.